at Madison Square Garden, fourth meeting between these two teams. Rangers have won 2, Carolina 1. Closed captioning tonight is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Check our Audi goaltending matchup. Henrik Lundqvist getting the call. He continues to put up some outstanding numbers. 31 wins. You see the save percentage. It's been over .930 over the last 10 games. And across the way is Cam Ward, 3-1-1 in his last 5. Last time these two teams met, he beat the Rangers 3-1 in Carolina.
Besieged by injuries the last few years has been Cam Ward. Boy, who can forget when he won the Stanley Cup for him back in 2006? Making a lot of money, Sam, and there's talk that maybe he won't be with Carolina come next season.
Well, Anton Khudobin has played very, very well for Carolina since they brought him in. Race for the puck run, Hainsey for Carolina. As he's sent around by Marty St. Louis, who's been moved back to the line with Stepan and Nash. St. Louis playing the right side, Nash the left side, Stepan in the middle. Mark Stahl on defense with Anton Strawman. His brother Eric had opened up and is on the ice, number 12 for Carolina. Eric heads to the bench, and Jordan, number 11, comes on. Mark still on. And the Stahl parents are here.
Not cheering for anyone. They're just sitting there quietly in their seats.
Good family get together with mom, dad, and 3 of their sons. Along the boards, Jordan Stahl with Pouliot checking him. Pouliot for Sergeant Zuccarello on. The puck juggled and held by Henrik Lundqvist on the long foul. And the man on the ice, the man, as we mentioned, so deserving of the Stephen McDonald extra effort award, Matt Zuccarello.
Yeah, for him to turn his game around like he did and then to grow as a player and gain that confidence. And he's been a real spark plug for this team all season. You talk about somebody that plays with spirit and determination. Game after game, it's been Matt Zuccarello.
Jay Harrison with a shot that was blocked. Rangers welcome back Jesper Fast. He started the season with the Rangers, played the first 8 games, did not score a point. Was sent down, suffered a high ankle sprain, but since recovering from the high ankle sprain has been one of the outstanding players with the Hartford Wolfpack. Jesper Fast wearing number 12 on with Richards and Hagelin. And as Brad Richards said to us yesterday, those two guys will play Swedish. They'll talk Swedish to each other, and I'll just go along for the ride.
Why not? If you have the puck, it's easy.
Hagelin sends it in.
I was impressed with Fast, the way he played in training camp and early on. He's a very smart player. Most of those Swedish-born players really have a good understanding of the game.
Nice takeaway. Brian Boyle moves in. His shot deflects into the corner. Boyle on here with Derek Dorsett and Dominic Moore. Moore checked there by Jay Harrison, number 44. On range to Radek Dvorak, number 18 is on. Number 18 for the Rangers is Mark Stahl moving in. His shot deflected, goes up off the netting, and play stops.
Now, once he got healthy, Sam, he's had a pretty good season in Hartford. Again, you just watch him play. The thing that stands out is his intelligence, how he reads plays, the defensive side of the game, which is something that all those young Swedish players, by the time they get to this league, and they can be very young, it's one thing that you hear coaches talk about. I can trust them defensively, and they tend to let the offense come later on.
He's playing a lot with Ryan Bourque, who's been playing very, very well.
Now, this will not be an easy game for the Rangers. This Carolina team, they continue to work hard. They went into Pittsburgh and won. They're going to Ottawa and win. So this is a team that's really working.
Eric Stepan gets to the puck. The shot just went wide. Tipped in by Dan Girardi. Girardi and John Moron. Here's Stepan trying to tee it up. Now the shot by Nash is saved by Ward. And played out of the zone by Andre Laktianov. Laktianov has fit in nicely for Carolina since being acquired from the Devils.
He's brought them something they didn't have. Somebody on the power play that could play on the sideboards and make plays. He's done a nice job.
In the Ranger zone. Rafael Diaz, number 4 on. Broussard sends it ahead for Pouliot. Fred Belmore, number 73, the defenseman is pitched in. That shot is in! finding the loose puck at the bottom of the circle and firing it by Henrik Lundqvist. And just a little over 3 minutes into the game, Carolina takes the lead.
Now, Carolina's a team that plays a lot of tempo. And watch your defenseman come in right there. That's Pouliot that loses it. Now, Bellemare stays with it. Look at the work. Gets it to the front. And eventually, there's Dwyer. Nobody's got him. And up high over the right shoulder of Lundqvist. But that all starts. The Rangers had the puck. And then that little deflection that goes off the net fooled Girardi, and it went right through his legs. And there was Patrick Dwyer to put it in. Again, this is a Carolina team. They're not going to make the playoffs. They play this high tempo, and you've got to try and play physical with them because they're not a team that likes to play that grinding style, so you've got to hit them.
Kevin Klein pressured by Jeff Skinner. And a pass off the stick of Hagelin. Moved again, and the Rangers come out.
Bellemare broke his stick on defense.
Klein goes to the net, but Richards lost the puck, and heading the other way, Skinner with Elias Lindholm, who shoots wide. Lindholm, first-round draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes in 2013. Ryan Murphy just recalled from the Miners, number 7 on defense for Carolina.
Again, you see how aggressive he was? I mean, he just took off to try and keep the play in. So the Rangers are going to have to be strong on the boards and make smart plays.
A giveaway, a save by Ward on Brian Boyle, who had a big chance. It may have gone off the post.
I think it did on the short side, yeah.
Ward got the glove up and it went by and off the post. The Rangers fourth line of Moore, Boyle, and Dorsett. Arcillo a healthy scratch. Boyle trying to get to the front. Had it knocked away. Kept in by Anton Strawman. Strawman and Stahl on the ice. The Carolina goal. Patrick Dwyer, his 8th from Brett Bellemare at 3:22. Mark Stahl making his way down. Pass off the skate of Harrison and cleared out by one-time Ranger Manny Malhotra. Wearing number 22. Marty St. Louis, who has put up some great numbers in his career against Carolina. In those years with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Laktianov, Girardi is there. Lundqvist leaves it for John Moore. His pass is deflected. Stepan clears it out of the zone. Eric Stahl is there to play it.
Eric Stahl back at center in this game. They had him playing the wing for a couple of games with Laktianov at center. With a hit block for this one.
Ron Hainsey, the defenseman, goes deep, tied up there by Marty St. Louis. Stepan brings it out. Joining the rush is John Moore. 3-on-2 developing. Shot by Stepan high off the shoulder of Cam Ward.
Shook him up a little bit.
Pass to Stepan again. He tried to get it through to St. Louis, and it was blocked. And that is Zuccarello just off the bench. Marty St. Louis had gone to the bench, replaced by Matt Zuccarello. A little over 6 minutes gone by here in the first. Carolina with a 1-0 lead.
Rangers a couple of pretty good scoring chances in the last minute or so.
Lundqvist keeps it moving around the glass for Pouliot. Chips it out of the zone. And played across from Bellemare to Michael Lyles, number 26. Diaz, quick pass, went by everybody, and will be an icing. No, icing waved off. Good hustle by Benoit Pouliot. Used the speed to negate the icing. Dwyer along the boards.
Damn,
Stahl able to play it across.
That, and he anticipated where the puck was going to end up to the far corner, so he changed his angle to go to the other side.
Jordan Stahl swings it around. John Michael Lyles with a shot to the side of the net, but it's blocked. Here's Lyles again. Jordan Stahl. Checked there by Diaz. Nathan Derby was tied up and ridden down by Kevin Klein away from the puck. Derby gets back into it. And Zuccarello takes it. And it's lifted out. Knocked down by Dwyer with a high stick and played stop. 7:15 gone by. First period. Patrick Dwyer has scored for Carolina. The Hurricanes lead 1-0.
Well, the Rangers gave up the goal, and then they came back with a couple of pretty good scoring chances. Here's Rafael Diaz in his own zone all the way down. Look at the hustle by Dorsett, and then a good little pass, and there is Brian Boyle with the chance, and as you could hear, right off the post on the short side. Brian Boyle up high, just off the post, just misses and goes out the other way. He could use one.
Close. He's hit a couple of posts in recent games now. Richards, Hagelin, and Fost on for the Rangers. Mr. Fast, as I mentioned, was playing with Ryan Bourque, who has 20 goals this season, and Marek Rivik was the other lineman. Earlier during the season, he was playing with J.T. Miller. Fost looking, sets up Richards, save Ward. Rebound played away by Riley Nash, kept in by Fost. Good play. Pass was by Richards. Justin Falk clears it out. Riley Nash across to Jeff Skinner. Skinner pass deflected. Hagelin tied up Nash. Girardi's got the puck. Outlet to Dominic Moore. Stick of Hagelin and played there by Jay Harrison.
That was a real good play by Fost, coming all the way across to put himself in a position to get a pass, and then a nice setup to Richards.
Indeed. Ball pressured there by Bowman. Grayson Bowman's pass blocked by Boyle. And Boyle chips it out. And Anton Strawman there. Tied up by Radek Dvorak. Sent ahead by Dominic Moore. And Cam Ward goes out to get it. Ryan Murphy trying to make his way out of his own. Nash did a good job on him. Murphy trying the other side. Ball pass was blocked. He gets it back to Marty St. Louis. Again, the Rangers trying to find that right spot for St. Louis. Back with Nash and Stepan. Nash was checked at the last second by Alexander Semin. Loktionov puts it in the Ranger zone. Girardi and Eric Staal tied up. Loktionov already lost his stick momentarily. Has it back. Rangers have the puck. Stepan shot deflects up into the netting, and play stops with 10:40 to go in the first.
Yeah, Jesper Fost. You'll see him. He's a right wing, but he comes all the way across so that his teammate has someone to pass it to. Now he's looking all the way across the ice. That play wasn't there, so he just waited. A soft little pass. There he comes again. Reads it. Now comes all the way across into the opening. Now has it. Now he's looking all the way across, and it's not there, so he finds Richards with just a soft little drop pass.
Jesper Fost, 22 years old. A Rangers 6th-round pick in 2010.
Columbus with an early 1-0 lead over Phoenix. Phoenix hanging on for their playoff lives.
They're 1 point out of a wild card spot in the Western Conference. Jordan Staal able to move it up to Nathan Burby. Here's Patrick Dwyer. Diaz is there. Belmore, the defenseman, goes in deep again. Kevin Klein stayed with him. Belmore went down. Nothing called on the play.
They're aggressive, aren't they?
Yeah,
they go. They get 5 players, and that's why you've got to try and play this game in their zone, because they are good in the offensive end.
Similar in certain ways to Ottawa with how aggressive they can be.
They don't score. Yeah, they don't score quite as well as Ottawa, because Ottawa's got a few more higher-end players.
Back out for Justin Falk, who's passing across out of the zone. Falk winds up and drives it around the boards. Falk is one of those young players. We were talking with the defensive coach of the Hurricanes, Dave Lewis, who said he can be a real good player or an elite player. Up to him.
Yeah, well, they thought elite because they just gave him a 6-year, $29 million contract. I think that's elite.
Yeah.
Is it, or is that good? It might be good.
No, after $29 million in parentheses, it says elite. That's a lot of money. John Moore checking Radek Dvorak. Brian Boyle moves in with Grayson Bowman. Murphy couldn't tee up a shot. Comes out of the zone. Just under 9 minutes to go. First period. Carolina 1-0 lead. Bowman's shot blocked by Moore. John Moore, that is. Ryan Murphy there to play it. Boyle chasing him back. Now Bowman sending it in. Carolina has lost only 1 game in regulation in the last 6, 3-1-2. Over the last 10 games, 5-3 in 7. Louis taken down, but nothing called on the play. Nash's pass tipped out of the zone by Lacchiano.
That looked like the stick was right between his legs, and down he went.
Stahl there to get it. Tipped out by St. Louis to Stepan. Quick pass to Nash. He moves in and shoots. Save. Ward puts the rebound in the corner. Good pass sending in Nash. Back the other way. Alexander Seven. Saved by Lundqvist. All chances at either end. Now Nash moves in again with Stepan. Stepan around the defenseman is stopped by Ward. Lacchianov able to get it to Eric Stahl, who fires it out.
Trading chances, these two teams suddenly back and forth. Both goaltenders standing tall.
Answer for Henrique. Henrique.
Nash has a breakaway and quickly the other way. Long pass, and Semin has a breakaway for Carolina the other way.
John Moore carries it out. Zuccarello was bumped on the play, and the puck taken back by Dwyer. Falk sends it up the boards quickly for Jordan Stahl. Zuccarello got over to slow him down. Girardi with Gerby all over him. Zuccarello is there. Moving in is Jordan Stahl. John Moore comes over. 5 players in the group in the corner. Jordan Stahl tried to come out. He was stopped by Zuccarello.
Oh, what a nice play. Jordan Stahl is got to be twice as big, doesn't it, Sam? He's about 235 pounds at about 6'4". And Zuccarello just had good position on him, took him out of the play, and Rangers able to clear the zone.
Riley Nash. Now Lindholm to Skinner for the shot. Save! Good save by Lundqvist. Skinner with that great shot. Dangerous goal scorer is Jeff Skinner. Carolina has a 1-0 lead. Back in Madison Square Garden, time to go to John Giannone. He's been patient between the benches. He's presented by Ford. Take it away, John.
A lot more patient than the head coach, Sammy. You know, the Rangers are trying to get home ice advantage now that they're in the playoffs. But for Alain Vigneault, it's about playing the right way as they get to the playoffs. So I've heard catchphrases like up-tempo, and north-south. He really wants his team to start getting up the ice a lot more, and he was very concerned with those 2 scoring opportunities, including the 7 breakaway. We've got Ron Duguay in studio tonight to take you through the intermissions. Share your thoughts with him. Use Twitter, use the hashtag NYR, and we will have as our guest a most deserved Stephen A. McDonald Extra Effort Award winner, Matt Zuccarello.
Thanks, John. We'll look forward to that. We'll get back to you for more information between the benches during the course of the game. Right here, Rangers down 1-0 on a goal by Patrick Dwyer at 3:22. John Moore trying to move it. Marty St. Louis there. Rangers come out with a puck. Stepan to Nash. Here's Stepan. It's whistled out for offside. Marty St. Louis half a stride ahead of the play. Experience MSG Game Flow during every Rangers game. Follow along on MSG.com with live play-by-play and up-to-the-minute stats. You'll also have access to in-depth player cards, live tweets from the MSG On Air team, and extensive pre- and post-game video and analysis. It's all on MSG Game Flow. And Ward out to stop it. Belmore moves it around. Belmore's done a nice job for Carolina. Lead for Jordan Stahl. All the way across, Nathan Gerby. Dropped it back, and Brassard got back to break it up. Brassard, Pouliot, and Zuccarello, the Rangers line. Zuccarello moves down against John Michael Lyles. Zuccarello toward the net. It's Stroman, and it was deflected by Belmore. Here's Kevin Klein with a drive, deflected into the corner. Zuccarello swings it around the boards. Klein couldn't get there in time to keep it in. Just off the bench, Dan Girardi. Whipped ahead by Zuccarello. Rangers changing. And John Michael Lyles takes over. Shots are 6-5 in favor of the Rangers. There have been some good chances among those 11 shots on goal.
Lundqvist, the breakaway, and the one right after that by Skinner. Excellent save.
Riley Nash goes around the net. Finds a man. A quick shot save. Jay Harrison again. Saved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. Lundqvist tested by the defenseman, Jay Harrison. And he stays with him to make 2 beautiful saves. A lot of special things happened at Madison Square Garden, and another one tonight. It's the prom night, Garden of Dreams prom night. Michael Strahan in attendance, Jill Martin on the dance floor, and the young people of the Garden of Dreams Foundation involved here at the Garden. Boy, they look great.
Jill Martin's got
Love
some
it.
moves, doesn't she?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you hurry up and heel, you can dance with Jill Martin.
I'll tear the other one.
It's great to see the youngsters here and the Garden of Dreams Foundation with so many wonderful events. John Michael Lyles across. Riley Nash gets it out of the zone. Lindholm fires from long distance. Lundqvist makes the save and holds it with 4:34 to go here in the first.
Now for Carolina, they've had 8 shots on goal, including the last one. But boy, they had some chances. That's Alexander Semin with the breakaway. And here's Skinner. Was able to shoot right past Mark Stahl. Very good save by Lundqvist. Harrison once. How about again? That one, and then catches it. Those are high-quality scoring chances by Carolina. And Henrik Lundqvist is keeping this a 1-0 game.
On the scoreboard, penalty called here before we get to the scoreboard. It's going to be on Carolina as John Moore was tripped up. Ward makes a save. Rangers get a power play coming up with 4:25 to go here in the first period.
Alexander Semin right off the face-off in the offensive zone. Doesn't like the call. The Rangers will get the first power play of the game. Semin right in front of you, 28. Watch the stick. In the waist. Hook. That's the call. And so for Kirk Muller's team, their penalty killing has been excellent as of late. And so the Rangers will be challenged. And the Rangers, that's an area going into next week. They have got to shore that up. They got to find a way to score some power play goals.
Quick shot by San Luis is blocked. This Rangers power play is brought to you by Volkswagen. Richard shoots. He scores! Brad Richards. It's a power play goal. And the game is tied 1-1.
Well, Brad Richards had been saying, we got to get more shots. And that's something they were doing when the power play was successful. They win the faceoff. Here's St. Louis blocked, but watch the play he makes. He gets it, and eventually just fires it over blindly to Richards. Richards looked one way and looked up and said, wow, there's nobody on me. Why not just fire it? What a shot.
He wasn't going to shoot it.
He wasn't. He was looking the other way. But generally, you don't get that much room. And he wasn't feeling any pressure. You saw both Carolina players, defensemen, get stuck to one side. Lack of communication allowed Richards some room and space to tie it.
An important goal. Jordan Stahl moves in using his big size. He had a chance in front. The puck was touched with a high stick and whistled down. But the Rangers score quickly. The penalty was at 15:35. 9 seconds later, Rangers score on the power play on the goal by Brad Richards, his 19th goal of the season.
Yeah, he hasn't had many points since the Olympic break, so he's trying to heat up a little bit before the playoffs start next week.
And that's against a team that in 10 games had given up only 1 power play goal.
Right.
That's Carolina.
That was a big mistake, a miscommunication by those two defensemen who both went to the same side. They kind of looked at each other, and that allowed Richards some time. And boy, he snapped that one. He snapped the old wrist shot right over the right shoulder. You know, there's Kirk Muller, the head coach. You know what? Good news for him. The owner, Mr. Carmanos, was on local television, Carolina television, prior to the game and gave the coaching staff a vote of confidence, saying that they did a good job. And you know what? That's good. If they keep that group together, I think Kirk is a real good communicator, and they got a good coaching staff.
He's got an idea of what he wants to do with this team. He's very focused, very bright coach. Dave Lewis and John McClain are his assistants. They've got some great people in the Carolina system. Rod Brindamore is also along on the staff. So
Ronnie Francis is around. It's rumored Ronnie Francis is going to take over as general manager for Jim Rutherford, who has not made an announcement, but that's the speculation that he will step down as the general manager of the team.
3.5 minutes to go first period. The game tied 1-1. Brad Richards getting his 19th, his 4th power play goal of the season for Marty St. Louis and Derek Stepan at 15:44. Harrison around the boards for Skinner. And Skinner to Belmore. Stahl was going to play it, but it was whistled down for an offside on Carolina. 11 to go. Thursday night on MSG, it's the final home game of the regular season. The Rangers take on the Buffalo Sabres. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Rangers Game Night with Al Troutwig at 6:30. And then it's the Rangers and the Sabres Thursday night on MSG. And Thursday night hockey, Joe, is presented by Ram.
I'll be there for that presentation.
Nash chips it off the boards. Buffalo is playing at home against Detroit tonight. I was going to say on the scoreboard, Phoenix has come back to tie Columbus 1-1 on a goal by Martin Erat.
Phoenix is trying to just hang in there. They're trailing by a point, even in games with Dallas, correct? And the last game between the season for both those teams is Dallas and Phoenix on Sunday.
Belmore's long shot slicked aside by Lundqvist. Semin bumped by St. Louis. Semin takes it away. Puts one in toward the net. Nice play by Lundqvist because Eric Stahl was at the top of the crease waiting. Belmore back to the puck for Carolina.
Is that an afternoon game, Sam?
I'm not sure, but I'll check the schedule for you in a second.
If it is, if the Masters is not very good, I might have to watch that.
The Masters is usually pretty good. You got to watch. I think you got to get 2 TVs on Sunday, Joe. All right, Sunday. The game in Phoenix. No, it's a night game. You're lucky. Lundqvist covers up.
My day is planned.
And then the hockey. 1:53 to go here in the first. New York Rangers hockey is brought to you in part by Lennox-Hill Hospital, the official hospital of the New York Rangers.
Phoenix just scored again, by the way. They're up 2-1 in Columbus.
Columbus holding on for the last wild card spot, but not far behind are the New Jersey Devils, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Devils lost a tough one last night to Calgary. I mean, they had trouble scoring all season long, and again last night.
Girardi saved by Ward, rebound deflected and cleared out of the crease by Harrison. Zuccarello trying to put it in from the side of the net. Long shot by John Moore is gloved by Ward. He holds it. Big chances for the Rangers.
I don't think Zuccarello got everything on the shot, Sam. It looked to me like the puck was kind of bouncing on him a little bit, and when it rolled over to him, I don't think he got everything. The shot initially, and then the deflections. Ward can't handle it, and here it comes. Let's see the bounce. Yeah, see the bounce. It bounced up, and he actually hit it with the shaft of his stick and not the blade of the stick. And then Harrison was very alert. There it is again. Oh, what a play. Alert play by Harrison.
That puck was on the goal line, and Harrison swept it out. Terrific play by Jay Harrison. Game remains tied 1-1 with 1:20 to go. First period. Jordan Stahl forced back by Dominic Moore. It falls down. Moore all over Hainsey. Boyle moves in. Good job by Moore and Boyle. Kirby was stopped by Derek Dorsey. Kirby blocked that shoot in and cleared it out. Certainly Nathan Kirby and Brian Boyle will be keeping their eyes on the Frozen Four this weekend in Philadelphia, where Boston College will be playing. Boston College, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Union College in the Frozen Four. Stepan. Now Nash controls the puck, gets it to John Moore. And his shot deflected high up into the netting with 29.2 seconds remaining in this first period. Marty St. Louis, we had a good chat with him yesterday at practice. He wants just so much to contribute to the Rangers, but as we were talking with him, he said he just needs to relax. He knows he needs to just relax.
Well, he's done other things well. Penalty killing has been good. Yeah. He makes smart plays when he's got the puck. He's very reliable. But when you're an offensive player, it's won a scoring title, and you
want to score.
Accumulated all the points that he has. Well, he just knows it's not a selfish thing. It's a scoring is going to help the team.
Yeah.
And that's why he's here, to contribute in that area. So he takes that personally.
First period comes to an end. Lively first period. Good action. Good chances for both teams. Patrick Dwyer scored first for Carolina. Rangers matched it on a Brad Richards power play goal. We're 1-1 into the first.
Now the 1-0 lead by Carolina, and then a couple of real key saves by Lundqvist to keep it at 1-0 before the Rangers scored on the power play. The Rangers were better the last 8 or 9 minutes of the period.
Time to go to the game side studio. Our Extra Effort Award winner is Al Trautwig. He'll be talking with the Stephen McDonald Band in just a moment, Al.
Thanks for that, Sam. Meanwhile, we'll talk to the real winner of the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award, and that's Matt Zuccarello. So he will join us. Bill Pito takes us around the National Hockey League as we count down the final games of the regular season. So many important storylines. He'll have them all in the MSG 150. Then Ron Duguay joins me to break down what he has seen in the first 20 minutes. Rangers feeling good, knowing they're in their playoffs. A little bit of a slow start, but they've tied things with a power play goal. Matt Zuccarello coming up on the Delta Intermission Report.
The New York Rangers Intermission Report is presented by Delta. Delta's new Terminal 4 at JFK is now open. Delta, keep climbing.
We are back at Madison Square Garden on a great night for hockey. Getting set for the second period. New York Rangers hockey is presented by Chase. Derek Stepan picking up another point as he continues that consistent play. 20 points over his last 21 games.
Yeah, we mentioned how well he's played against Tampa Bay, or pardon me, against Carolina this season. Getting a lot of points, 4 goals, and this being the 4th game, and a few assists, and he just keeps on going. He's become such an important component to this team with the minutes he plays, with the different situations he's in, power play, penalty kill, you name it. Just keeps growing as a player.
Stepan comes in with a puck. He was shot to flex wide. Marty St. Louis also getting a point against Carolina, as we mentioned, throughout his career at Tampa Bay. Carolina is always a team who put up a lot of points, averaging over a point a game against them. Nash checked by Eric Stahl. Reverses for St. Louis. Question falls on him. Semin takes over. Alexander Semin around to Ron Hainsey. Good pressure by the Rangers here. Strowman battling Loxianov. Here's Zuccarello faking. That's a pass. Score! Benoit Pouliot off a beautiful feed from Matt Zuccarello. Rangers lead it 2-1.
Matt Zuccarello froze everybody in this building with that fake shot. That was absolutely brilliant. The Rangers were on a change. Pouliot comes out. Whoa, he's going to shoot now. He finds him over on the other side. What vision by Zuccarello. And again, we talked about what an unselfish player he is. Fake shot. You can see the goaltender, Cam Ward, come well out, playing the shot. And beautiful little pass, and that was an easy one for Benoit Pouliot.
5-game point scoring streak for Matt Zuccarello. 6-game point scoring streak for Benoit Pouliot. That line continues to work so beautifully together. Zuccarello, Pouliot, and Brassard.
Absolutely. How do you see him coming off the bench?
Wow.
That's wonderful vision.
Pass intended for Brassard, broken up by Belmore. Rangers around the board. Zuccarello is there. Good way to celebrate winning the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award. Hagelin had it knocked away by Harrison. Checked there by Ryan Murphy. Hagelin with a puck. Playing it ahead and getting it back to Brad Richards. Hagelin for Rafi Diaz. Quick shot and a save by Ward. Loved that quick release by Rafael Diaz. Let's go between the benches. John Giannone downstairs.
I'll tell you what, Sam and Joe, Pouliot gets the goal, Zuccarello with the great pass for the assist, but a guy who got a lot of kudos on the bench was Anton Strawman. He was along the boards and kept that puck in the zone a good 5 or 6 different times. You see it here, and it was his play right there that allowed Zuccarello to get the puck and make that pass. And when he got to the bench, Ulf Samuelsson went to him, the head coach Alain Vigneault did as well, and a couple of his defensive teammates gave him a pat on the back.
Good pickup, John. Yeah, he did. Remember, the Rangers were changing, so they were shorthanded as far as players in the and on the play, and Strawman did all that work to buy some time.
And when we talk about contributions up and down the lineup, that's what we're talking about, the effort there by Strawman. He gets an assist, Zuccarello an assist, 50 seconds, the time of the goal by Benoit Pouliot, his 14th goal of the season. Pouliot, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points during his 6-game point-scoring streak. Zuccarello has 8 points during his 5-game streak, 4 goals, 4 assists. Rangers have the lead for the first time of the game. Brought in by Lindholm, nice pass, and Boyle did a good back-checking job on Riley Nash. Harrison, Ryan Murphy. Rangers had beaten Carolina 10 straight times before their 3-1 loss in the last meeting in Carolina. Long shot by Murphy, gloved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. Blue Shirts fans, individual game tickets for the 2014 Stanley Cup playoffs go on sale this Friday. For great seats, be sure to visit NewYorkRangers.com. Here's Benoit Pouliot, who's had a real solid season for the Rangers.
I give Alain Vigneault so much credit for what Benoit Pouliot has turned into for just staying with him. I mean, he had a terrible 20-25 games to start this season where he couldn't do anything, couldn't make a play with nobody on him, and Alain Vigneault really was with him, kept playing him, kept giving him a chance, kept patting him on the back, kept doing whatever it took until he finally found his game, and now has become an important component of the team.
Stahl and Dwyer got soft shots on Henrik Lundqvist, and he stopped as he looked at the Rangers head coach Alain Vigneault. Coaching staff has done a good job this season. Alain Vigneault, the head man, with Scott Arniel, Ulf Samuelsson, and Danny Lacroix.
I'm sure we're patient, weren't they, Sam? I mean, he's got a good sense of humor, Alain Vigneault, and he was able to keep He's a good attaboy, Johnny.
John Giannone almost made a beautiful
but he did the smart thing. He said, this thing's coming with velocity. I'm going to get my hand out of the way. Reach up there, Johnny. Reach up. No, don't.
That would have been a great save.
Good decision. There it is again.
I have learned my lesson, boys.
All right, John will be with Benoit Allaire for goaltending lessons after the game.
No thanks.
No, he should just go to Cass Marks and get some equipment first.
Benoit Pouliot, don't want to leave out Benoit Allaire, great coaching, goaltending coach of the Rangers, and Jerry Dineen, the video coach of the Rangers. Those are the Jerry is the behind-the-scenes guy. Breaks down all the video of all the opposing teams.
He contributes in so many different ways besides just breaking down video and giving his opinions about how you have to play against certain teams and what their tendencies are and their strengths and their weaknesses. I mean, this is a group effort.
Such an important job, and he does it so very well. Great coaching staff, and congratulations to them on the first step of making the playoffs. Back for the puck is Strawman. Quick release was blocked by Manny Malhotra. Strawman able to clear it out of the zone. Hagelin after it. Bowman stopped it.
Now's it. Pardon me, Sam. I mean, now's the time with this team that's not going to make the playoffs. Put the pressure on. Keep going after. Try and kill their spirit. I mean, they've been working hard these games and winning some games, but now's the time to really pour it on if you can.
Carolina could have a big effect on what happens. They've got an interesting schedule coming up, playing the Rangers. That shot knocked away. Hagelin's shot was blocked. They've got to play Detroit. So Carolina will have an impact on how the playoff situation unfold.
And they finish in Philadelphia.
That's right.
Sunday.
Lindholm clearing it out, stopped by Diaz, right back in. Dorsett gets there. Dorsett skating well. Wraparound, slid off his stick as he was checked by Hainsey, and Dorsett goes back to get it. Brian Boyle. Rangers' fourth line has done a good job in the second half push. They have been contributing. Chipping a goal, a battle for pucks, the way Brian Boyle is doing it right now. They've kept the pressure on, the puck deep.
Yeah, Danny Carcillo's been a big part of that as well.
Check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Thursday night, Buffalo Sabres here, final home game of the regular season, 7 p.m. on MSG. Saturday night in Montreal, Rangers and Canadiens, 7 p.m. on MSG. Both games preceded by 1/2 hour by Visa Rangers game night. That's scheduled for Carolina. Day after tomorrow, they'll play Washington. Then the next day after that, they play at Detroit and then end the season at Philadelphia. Ron Hainsey, the defenseman for Carolina, has gone to the Hurricanes locker room. So Carolina certainly could impact the outcome of what happens with those games against Detroit. Red Wings in the battle for a wild card spot in Philadelphia. Stepan got a shot off that Lyles got a piece of. Around to Patrick Dwyer. He has the Carolina goal. Gets his shot off, deflected, goes off the glass. Girardi got a piece of that. Kirby moves out. Saved by Lundqvist. Rebound was blocked. Moore cleared to the side. Girardi again. Long lead for Stepan. Looking for St. Louis. Pass a little behind him. And St. Louis was checked by Ryan Murphy. Harrison for Carolina. 6.5 minutes gone by, second period. Rangers have a 2-1 lead. A go-ahead goal by Benoit Pouliot. Stallman was tied up. Eric Staal against Mark Staal. And Mark able to move it to Pouliot. Rangers break out quickly. Pouliot with Brassard. Zuccarello to the near boards. And the puck taken back by Eric Staal. Block, good play by Pouliot. Brassard trying to take it away. Rangers recover in center. Fired in and around the boards it goes. It's whistled down for an offside on the play with, well, called it an icing. My apologies. That shoot-in came from the Rangers side of the red line.
That was close.
Yeah.
With a face-up down the Rangers zone.
That's Zuccarello. Putting up good numbers, and you can tell his hand has gotten healthy now.
Right.
He came out of the Olympics with a broken bone in his hand. He was out for a while. When the soreness went away and he could withstand some of the pain, he played through the pain.
He came back very, very early from that broken hand.
This is Justin Falk moving in. Falk trying to get a shot off. Stallman got a piece of that. Deep was Riley Nash, number 20 for Carolina. Zuccarello able to move the puck to Brad Richards. Richards with the Rangers' first goal, a power play goal. The only power play of the game thus far. Diaz. Lifted across by Hagelin. And the Hurricanes able to play it. Good play by Hagelin at the line, kept it in. It's cleared out. Line of Richards, Hagelin, and Jesper Fast.
Game has slowed down, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not much flow to this one in this period. You know, the Rangers have the only goal.
Belmore back for the puck. Boyle all over him. A block by Dorsett. Ron Hainsey has come back for Carolina. He's on the bench. There's a good lead to Dvorak. Pass was blocked by John Moore. Good play. He had a man, Manny Malhotra, on the other side. And John Moore made a good defensive play. Dorsett was sent flying.
That was a trip that was missed.
Moving in, Dominic Moore. Belmore is with him. Moore sets up Boyle, who shot it wide. Girardi pinched in and was cleared out of the zone by Drayson Bowman. Ryan Boyle up ahead for Marty St. Louis. Try to leave it for Dominic Moore. Boyle gets over to keep it in. St. Louis puts it in front. Harrison was able to clear it out. Alexander Semin. Good job by Mark Stahl on him. There's another trip. Semin got the stick on Dominic Moore. Oh, they let them go. Let them play. Puck around the board, centered. And a good block by Mark Stahl. Semin. And nice play by Dominic Moore. Rangers seem real sharp in the defensive zone. I think the Rangers have tightened up defensively, Joe.
Well, for sure. You know that the coaching staff was not happy with the first period and the quality scoring chances they gave up to Carolina. Right in front of the net a few times all alone.
Steal by Loktionov. Moves in. He's got Eric Stahl in front. Knocked away by Lundqvist. Again Loktionov. Shot by Stahl. Save. Eric Stahl tried to bank it in and was blocked. And the Rangers able to come out. Nice lead to Pouliot. And the shot is high and around the boards and out to center. Sent back in by Zuccarello and played by Hainsey.
Yeah, that was Klein slid down and then just swung his stick, knocked the puck off the stick and right into Lundqvist, who had to be alert.
Chance for Henrik Lundqvist and his exceptional play. Carolina out shooting the Rangers 18-13 for the game. 9.5 minutes to go in this second period. We've had some continuous play here for the last few minutes. Hard pass to Jesper Fast. Hagelin is with him. Try to leave it for Hagelin. Gerby able to take it away. Jordan Stahl gets knocked down by Jesper Fast. There's Nathan Gerby. Slides it to Jordan Stahl, and a good checking job done by Brad Richards on Jordan Stahl. Hagelin to Richards. Richards moves in. Checked there by John Michael Lyles. Toward the net. Tipped away by Belmore. And Strawman takes it back. Riley Nash. Rangers with a 2-1 lead. Rick Nash sending it ahead for Marty St. Louis. Pass in front, Stepan, save. He didn't get much on it. Here's a shot by St. Louis, missed. High and wide.
Yeah, Stepan was getting bothered a little bit by Bowman on the play.
Nash to Mark Stahl to Marty St. Louis, saved by Ward. Oh, Rangers moving the puck well in the offensive zone. Strawman knocked that puck down. They will play it ahead. Stolen by Belmore and put into the Ranger zone where Lundqvist leaves it for Mark Stahl.
Pardon me, I said Bowman. I actually meant Riley Nash made the defensive play on Stepan.
Marty St. Louis putting it in the zone, but ahead of the play, Rick Nash offside. 8 minutes to go. Second period. Benoit Pouliot with a go-ahead goal. What a feed from Zuccarello. 2-1 Rangers.
Marty St. Louis with a couple of chances as well. Carolina first. Watch, there's the sweep check, and Lundqvist had to be alert, played the puck. Carolina kept going, and there's Eric Stahl. Once, took another whack at it, couldn't get it in. Lundqvist holds everybody off, and then here comes Stepan, comes off the bench, and he'll take this pass right here. St. Louis to Stepan. Now there's Riley Nash from behind. Does a good job to put some pressure on Stepan so he could not get too much on the shot.
Lundqvist behind the net. That's blocked by Semin. Feet in front for Skinner. Nice play by Zuccarello. Pouliot races down. Hainsey trying to tie him up. Good job by Hainsey. Slow down the rush. Justin Falk for Carolina played it. Back behind the net. Brassard bumps there with Riley Nash. Pouliot for Zuccarello to Brassard to Zuccarello. That was a pass for Pouliot, who was trying to deflect the puck. And Hainsey lifted his stick. Brassard behind the net. Around the boards. Zuccarello going for it. Riley Nash able to move it to Jeff Skinner. Lindholm, Elias Lindholm playing it deep. Skinner in the corner. Takes a hit from Zuccarello. Zuccarello, a little of everything in this game, Joe.
He's going
at it with Skinner. And a penalty has been called.
Against Skinner, I believe.
An elbowing call. And Jeff Skinner says, what? Me? Rangers power play coming up.
Second power play of the game. Second power play for the Rangers. Here's why. Jeff Skinner goes after Zuccarello. There you see the right elbow come up high. Off the side of the head of Zuccarello, who has a little smile and says, thanks for the power play.
Zuccarello's got a little bit of everything going tonight. This Rangers power play is presented by Volkswagen.
He's got more spunk in him, doesn't he? I mean, he is just full of spunk.
Richards plays it back to the point. Shot by St. Louis was partially blocked by Patrick Dwyer. Rangers have Stepan, Nash, St. Louis, Richards, and Girardi for the power play. Richards scored a power play goal earlier. Here he is with the puck.
And Dwyer doesn't have a stick, so they're doing a good job going right at Dwyer.
St. Louis to Richards and around to Girardi to Richards. He scores! Brad Richards! It's a power play goal! And it's 3-1 Rangers.
Johnny Mac likes it.
Why not?
Yeah, they were so smart. Both Richards and St. Louis recognized that this man up there, that wasn't a very good circle, but there he is, doesn't have a stick. So they just keep working it back to him. And eventually, as Richards will say it again, we got to shoot the puck more, he said. Well, why not? Right there. What a shot. What a shot. Rick Nash was in front. They used Dwyer as a screen. 2 power play goals, both of those by Brad Richards.
That gives him 20 goals on the season. His 10th 20-goal season of his career. Second time he scored 20 with the Rangers. And the Rangers have now scored 3 consecutive goals to lead 3-1. 2 on the power play. And that's a big positive sign for the Rangers. Moore putting it in front for Boyle. Ryan Boyle checked by Eric Stahl. Mark Stahl shot partially blocked by Jay Harrison. And out with the puck, Alexander Semin. Loktionov to Semin. Checked there by Mark Stahl. Give away to Dominic Moore. Derek Dorsett after it. John Michael Lyles, good skating there to get to it before Dorsett.
And Sam, it's just about as simple as that with their power play. When they have control in the offensive zone and they make one fewer pass and just start getting shots, that's when they were so effective for most of the season.
Rolling puck all the way back, icing on the Rangers. With 5:19 to go here in the second period, the Rangers leading 3-1. Brad Richards getting the goal. Girardi and St. Louis the assist at 13:39 as Johnny Mac looks on.
And there's the shot. Hard shot right off the pass. Nash in front distracting the goaltender.
That's a big distraction too.
It is.
They set that up well.
Now he's due for a power play goal. Yeah. He hasn't scored one since January, Rick Nash.
Rangers have a lot of maneuverability on that power play when Richards is shooting the puck like that, because you have the playmaker with Stepan, a great passer. You have the great playmaker in Marty St. Louis and a good finisher. And there's Big Nash with a big body in front. Along the boards, Dwyer. He was tied up. Good play. Rangers take it away. Hagelin try to get it to Jesper Fast. Deflected. Ron Hainsey pressured by Brad Richards.
Jesper Fast has done a nice job in his first game back with the Rangers. Made some good defensive plays. He's been in good position. Had the puck a little bit.
And as he said, a lot more confident now in his game than he was to start the season. With the Rangers having injuries to start the season, he was on the roster. Lindholm shot blocked by Girardi and played in 8 games, still looking for his first NHL point. Benoit Pouliot had it knocked aside by Harrison. Zuccarello moves in. Pouliot to Brassard, and the shot went wide. Ryan Murphy may have gotten a piece of that. Zuccarello against Harrison. Zuccarello pushed it across, but it went out of the zone. Kevin Klein gets there.
Sam, you know, it's a little subtle play, but Zuccarello goes into the corner. He doesn't have the puck. Pouliot's fighting with 2 players for the puck. Zuccarello hits both of them so that Pouliot can come out with the puck.
That shot, Diaz deflected that up into the netting. 3:28 to go. Second period. Great night for Brad Richards, showing his power play prowess with 2 goals. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Rangers power play 2 for 2 tonight. Previous 7 games, just 2 for 21. Big factor for the Rangers. If that power play is going into the playoffs, that could be a big plus for the team. Rangers gotten the only 2 power plays of the game and cashed in on both. Stepan, Nash, and St. Louis on. Marty St. Louis with 2 assists in the game. Good contribution. Mark Stahl playing it up the boards. And there's Marty St. Louis taking it around the net, chased by Riley Nash. Stepan to St. Louis. Lost control. Stepan's got it back. Saved by Ward.
Wow. Off the shaft of his stick. Good follow-up by Stepan when St. Louis lost it. Stepan with the quick shot.
Fans, follow the Rangers playoff run on MSG Network. It all starts next week with live Stanley Cup playoff games and extensive coverage from the team that knows your team the best. The Rangers playoffs. Coverage begins next week on MSG Network and MSG.com. We'll be finding out the schedule and the matchups at the end of the week. Here's Diaz, saved by Ward. Nice chance. Happy Diaz went right down the slot. Things just opened up for him. Diaz plays it ahead, tipped by Pouliot to Brassard. Now to Zuccarello, and a save by Ward.
How about the shot, the pass, the shot on the backhand, and Ward with a beauty.
There's that line moving the puck beautifully again. Zuccarello. Ryan Boyle just off the bench. Checked there by Jordan Stahl. Rangers with a 3-1 lead with 2:15 remaining in the second period. Dorsett bumps there with Ryan Murphy. Elias Lindholm moved in around the net. Dominic Moore. That was knocked away by Ward. And out comes Laktianov. Bowman after it with Girardi. Girardi leaves it for Dominic Moore. Off the side of the net. And Boyle was back to help out. Belmore with the puck for Carolina.
Sam, you made the point earlier in this period about tightening up. You know, the Rangers with the puck in their own zone are much better this period. Getting the puck, making a quick pass, putting on somebody's stick, and then they're able to get out of the zone. Much easier than they did in the first period.
Hagelin battling Laktianov. Semin with the puck, spinning against Jesper Fast. In deep for Gerby. Checked by Girardi. Now Alexander Semin. John Moore checking him. It's out to Lyles. Then the shot tipped wide. Semin to Lyles again. Trying to get it back to Semin. He was tied up by John Moore. Rangers come out. 3-on-3. Richards pulls up. Richards deflected off the glass. Under a minute to go in the second period. 2 goals here in the second for the Rangers. Puck deflects to Jesper Fast. Takes the shot. Saved by Ward. Nice wrist shot by Jesper Fast. There's Hagelin. Checked by Eric Stahl. Richards. Hagelin poking at it. St. Louis just off the bench. He tripped up Semin. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say Hagelin was there for the rebound and bounced over his stick on the shot by Foss.
Gallman went down. He may have gotten a stick in the face. He's holding his mouth. Meanwhile, the play goes the other way. 3-on-2. Down the middle. Step on. Now St. Louis off the side of the net. Step on. Pass through to Mark Stahl. Now to Rick Nash. Back for Stahl. Time winding down, and the horn sounds, ending the second period. Good rush down the ice. The puck was moving well. Another chance, but it didn't go in.
He's got a sore neck from shaking his head in this game. I mean, he's been shaking his head at the misses of some of the chances he's had. Look at Rick Nash. There's so much time on this 3-on-2. Beautiful passing. Looks like a shot. And there's St. Louis. He just hesitated for a split second and goes off the side of the net. And then has one more as well as they head to the locker room with a lead.
Let's go to the game. Sorry, Joe. Let's go to the game side studio. Al Trautwig standing by. What's coming up, Al?
Al, it's Sam. It's the New York Lottery intermission report. I'll be talking to Connor McDonald, who's the son of Officer Stephen, who had the award named after him for his amazing life. And Connor, of course, has grown up here in Madison Square Garden. We'll also go to Bill Pito for the MSG 150, updating some important scores around the National Hockey League. And I'll be joined by Ron Duguay to break down what we saw in a very successful Rangers second period. The Rangers score early. Some magic by Matt Zuccarello. The power play clicks again. The Delta intermission report is coming up with Officer Connor McDonald, continuing the New York City Police Department family tradition.
The New York Rangers intermission report is presented by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know.
Welcome back to New York Rangers hockey, getting set for the third period. Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. New York Rangers hockey is presented by Chase. Before we start the action, here's our trivia action. The Cadillac trivia question of the night on April 8th, 1982. Who set the Rangers record for most points in a playoff game? Any idea, Joe?
1982. Ron Greschner.
I'm going to go with Mikko Leninen.
Really? You know that.
I'm just
Yeah, you know that.
Just saying that Mikko had a great night. Flashback time. The man from Finland.
Look at those unis by the Flyers. The long pants.
There's a Don Maloney and a Robbie Ftorek. We have a Dave Maloney sighting anywhere? Mikko Lennon. There's number 26. I saw Dave Maloney.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah.
And Mikko Lennon with 6 points. There's number 26 of the Rangers, the captain, Dave Maloney.
He just scored, but they're celebrating with the player that assisted on the goal. They're waiting for Dave to get there.
There you go. Underway third period. Rangers a 3-1 lead. Back for the puck, Justin Falk. Carolina scored the first goal of the game at 3:22 of the first period. And the Rangers have shut them down since and scored 3 straight.
Need to keep playing now. Don't give Carolina any hope or any life. Be strong defensively like they were for most of that second period. Stay out of the penalty box. Play a good, smart period here. Get the 2 points and start concerning yourself about Buffalo on Thursday. Philadelphia, by the way, winning 3-0 tonight in Florida.
No Roberto Luongo for Florida in that game. Sard across. Flyers do have a game in hand on the Rangers. However, if the two teams win out, the Rangers would win by virtue of the tiebreaker. More regulation and overtime wins. Zuccarello along the board. Pouliot is there. Zuccarello keeps in. Got it to Pouliot. Pass for Brassard. He tipped it just wide. And again, that line moving the puck well. Winning battles, passing the puck well, and getting good chances. Brassard behind the net. Pouliot to the side of the net. Shot by Girardi. Blocked on the way in. Brassard trying to bank it in. It was blocked. And Dwyer able to send out Nathan Gerby. Hagelin flying around the net.
Boy, that line's just got magic in the way they play. Don't they?
You're right. That's a
Beautiful thing.
It's a chance. Foss down low to Hagelin, a save. Ward may have made 2 saves on Hagelin. Great pass from Jesper Foss. Threaded it through to Carl Hagelin.
He's done a nice job. He's stepped in the lineup. He's looked calm. He's made smart plays. Defensively, he's been efficient. It's offside.
That hit the linesman, went back in the zone. The opposite linesman made the call.
Now that line led by Brassard. And here's the fake shot and the pass. There it is again. Frees everybody, including look at Cam Ward, the goaltender. Wasn't anywhere close to that, and Brassard just couldn't put it in. And there's Foss gets the puck in front to Hagelin, who deflects it once, gets his own rebound, and Ward is able to keep that one out as well.
Dominic Moore against Eric Stahl. And Ron Hainsey goes back to get it. Boyle, Dorsett, and Moore. The line for the Rangers. Off the stick of Stallman. Eric Stahl and Mark Stahl go after the puck. Good matchup there. The Stahl brothers. Eric, the oldest of the 3 brothers on the ice. Jordan Stahl, the youngest. Mark holding his own in the middle.
And Eric Stahl, the richest.
They're all
He's
pretty.
the oldest.
They're all pretty good.
Right, he's a little over 9 M a year.
Ooh. They're all doing quite nicely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're all good players and deserving of what they make.
They are top-notch all-star performers. Justin Falk's shot. Lundqvist got a piece of that. Here comes Derek Stepan. St. Louis to the right. Cuts to the middle. Back for Stepan. Off the stick and leg of St. Louis. Nash trying to put it in while he was falling down.
What a save.
Great effort by Rick Nash.
Ward made a left pad save that was just beautiful. With Nash falling down. Ward looked like he was out of the play and just kicked out the left leg for the save.
John Moore. There's Pouliot. Brassard goes to the net. Zuccarello. Save. Ward looked behind him. It's in the equipment as he fell back.
Well, Ward is keeping this game 3-1. We've played just under 4 minutes of this third period, and Cam Ward has been outstanding. St. Louis, there's the play in front. There's Nash. Watch him as he's going down. It looked like Ward was well out of the way, out of the side, and then that last chance by Zuccarello, and Ward there again.
Rangers have had 5 shots on goal in the first 4 minutes, make it 6.
Another good save. That good play by Zuccarello. Pulled it to the middle, held on to it briefly, and then fired the wrist shot. Here comes Zuccarello again on the turnover.
Brassard forced the turnover with a good poke check. Up the boards. Brought out by Lindholm. Elias Lindholm sends it deep. Quick shot. Lundqvist makes the save. It dropped loose and he covers up. We'll find out what the Rangers coaches are thinking about things coming into the third. Here's John Giannone between the benches. John.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sam, what we've seen so far in the first 4.5 minutes is exactly what Scott Arniel told me between periods. He said it's as simple as winning one-on-one individual battles. You have to have the puck more. That's what we did in the second that we didn't do in the first, and that's all we stressed to them going into the third. Win as many puck battles as possible. On the power plays, he said, again, very simple. Win the faceoff, which we did. That allows you to get in the flow. Then take shots with guys in front. That's been our bread and butter all year. It's why we scored twice.
Thanks, John. 3-on-2 Rangers down the ice. St. Louis down low. Score! Derek Stepan finishes off another great Rangers play. And it's 4-1 Rangers.
That is assist number 3 by Marty St. Louis in this game. What a pass. And it was a little tap in, but it starts down on the other end for the Rangers in their own zone. Strong move here on the boards. Find the puck, get control of it, just as John told us about on his report. Be strong on the puck, get it. How about this? Little tap in. Gorgeous pass, Marty St. Louis. And Derek Stepan, his 5th goal this season against Carolina as he slides it in past Cam Ward, who's been very good here in the third period.
4 consecutive goals for the Rangers since they fell behind 1-0 early in this game. And Marty St. Louis has had a hand in 3 of the 4 goals. Squires pass went off the referee. Rangers come out quickly, 3-on-2. Now it's evened up. Hagelin for Richards. Trying to get it through Jesper Fast. Back the other way, Nathan Gerby. Jordan Staal. That was blocked by Moore. Girardi up the boards to Brad Richards. 5:20 gone by in the third period. Rangers have added to the lead. Derek Stepan with his 17th goal of the season from Marty St. Louis at 4:38. Stepan with a goal and an assist. St. Louis with 3 assists in the game. The Rangers with a 3-goal lead. Riley Nash, number 20 for Carolina. Quick shot off the crossbar by Lindholm, and it goes up into the netting. Close, but up into the netting it goes, and play stops.
Now, good work by Carolina on the forecheck. They get in quickly, they get a little help. And there's Lindholm, just comes out of the corner with it. There's a good release. They like Lindholm, first-round pick. He's got skill.
Washington with a 1-0 lead in St. Louis, early second period, as the Caps try to stay alive in the race for a wild card berth. Shot by Lindholm was fought off nicely by Lundqvist.
And Tampa Bay leading Toronto 1-0 as Toronto is trying to hang on. We don't have many games left.
And we all have 2 games left after tonight. Ben Bishop was injured in that game and left and will not be back tonight. Dvorak taken out by Diaz. Moved around by Malhotra to Bowman. Out to the point. Lyles. That's knocked down. Dvorak finds it. Shoots wide. Played by Grayson Bowman. Malhotra spoke with Manny, the one-time Rangers first-round draft pick, before the game, telling us his family is with him now in Raleigh, having moved from Vancouver, and he'd love to come back, but don't know what his future holds, but he would love to come back. Boom! Good idea by Zuccarello.
He is the Masterton
nominee
pardon me,
Carolina.
for Carolina, which is good for him. A good man, Manny Malhotra.
A solid pro. Good career in the NHL. He's come back from a serious eye injury. That was touched with a high stick. Play stops. 7:22 gone by. Third period. The Rangers, another beautiful play. And Derek Stepan with the finish. Fans, this month you can experience the Tribeca Film Festival presented by AT&T and meet the biggest names in technology and storytelling at the all-new Tribeca Innovation Week. Tickets, passes, and details on all festival events are available at TribecaFilm.com. Strong game for Derek Stepan and his line mate. Especially Marty St. Louis with 3 assists.
That one's been pretty good.
Rick Nash has had a couple of chances.
Going to the left side, and so St. Louis feels most comfortable over on the right side.
Yeah. And this has been the first significant offensive outburst by Marty St. Louis, and we've said it before. Coming into this game, he had scored 88 points in 78 career games against Carolina, and he's added to that with 3 points in this game.
You know that, and a little confidence, right, Sam? And as he was mentioning,
That was deflected just wide by Dominic Moore, almost into his own net. Fired out for St. Louis from Stepan. Just the fact, Joe, he told us that he had time to spend with his kids on the day off Sunday, helped him relax. It's a big factor.
And a lot going on, lots of games, not much time to rest, and with everything that he was involved with in the move, and have a game like this, maybe add another assist or a goal or something here in the third, and be a good way to start getting a little confidence to get ready for the playoffs next week.
Ryan Murphy with a hip check on Jesper Fast. Took him out. And there by John Moore to Brad Richards. Richards with 2 power play goals in the game. Jesper Fast getting it back. Putting it in the Carolina zone. Murphy putting it deep. Lundqvist plays it up the boards to Brian Boyle. Pressure from Dwyer. Dwyer tied up with Diaz. Jordan Staal checked by Dominic Moore. Kirby was bumped on the play. Gets a shot off that was blocked in front.
Nice job. Rafael Diaz with the block.
All the way across for Dominic Moore. He was stopped. Brian Boyle picks it up. Nathan Gerby. They're the 2 BC guys. On the board. Kept in by Diaz. Jordan Staal played it to John Michael Lyles. Coming down to the midway point. 3rd period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead.
Now, Sam, that we talked about in that second period, the Rangers scoring those 3 goals, and you could tell they've taken a little of the spirit out of this Carolina team. Team that has worked pretty hard, competed pretty hard in most games, and the Rangers have kind of zapped them with some of that here in this one.
Hainsey has knocked down. Zuccarello's got a man in front. Gets it back from Brassard and got pulled down on the play by Justin Paul. Brassard was too unselfish. He went back to Zuccarello with the pass. There's that line, giving and going.
Rangers again with a power play. They lead it by 3 here in the third. Zuccarello was able to knock the puck out of midair. Right? Look at this play. Knocks it down, gets past everyone, feeds it up to Brassard, a little give and go, and then Brassard gets taken down. And Zuccarello, pardon me, gets taken down. That's the penalty, and the Rangers are 2 for 2, get another chance.
Rangers have had the only power plays in the game. Brad Richards has scored them both. First time since February 7th, Rangers have had more than 1 power play goal in a game. Richards, Stepan, Nash, St. Louis, and Girardi for the power play. Richards excused, and Stepan comes in, wins the faceoff. Girardi to Richards. An awful leg, and is cleared by Belmore. In the Washington-St. Louis game, St. Louis has tied that game 1-1, but Alexander Ovechkin has scored his 50th goal of the season. 5th time in his career he has scored 50 or more goals.
Congratulations to him. Can you imagine that he didn't have an even strength goal, Sam, for 16 games and didn't have an even strength point in the month of March? Hard to believe, isn't it?
Very hard to believe. Girardi having trouble with strong forecheck by Patrick Dwyer. Richards brings it across and sets up. Zuccarello has come on with Pouliot and Brassard. Richards, open man, Brassard. Now Zuccarello shot wide, and he looks up to the roof. How did I miss that, he says to himself.
I mean, they have had more unbelievable setups in this game. That line, the way they moved the puck. He had 3 feet on the short side and shot it wide.
Brassard sets up again. John Moore has come on, replacing Girardi. He turns, feeds Richards. 2 men in front. Zuccarello and Pouliot. John Moore finds Brassard. Waits. Pass across. Richards. Save made by Ward. Rebound. Saved by Ward. Richards was going for a hat trick. Looking for 3 power play goals.
He hesitated for just a second before taking a shot.
Try to get it through to Stepan. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Riley Nash blocks it out of the zone. Rick Nash, no relation. Able to recover for the Rangers. Rick Nash checked by Riley. Now John Moore, and the power play is over. Rangers 2 for 3 on the power play in the game. Had 2 shots on goal on that one. St. Louis try to pass, but Stepan had lost his stick. It had been knocked out of his hand. And the puck went on goal and Ward stopped play.
Boy, what a power play this has been tonight. The way they moved the puck. Here's Brassard. Brassard waiting. There's a quick pass over to the other side. Richards stopped on that one as he was looking for his third power play goal of the game. Beautiful passing. They're just moving the puck, finding themselves with time. And as we mentioned earlier, this penalty killing coming into this game for Carolina has been terrific.
Yeah, unbelievable. They've given up only one power play goal in 10 games. 23 for 24. And the Rangers coming through with 2 for 2 on the first 2 chances. 2 for 3 in the game. That was blocked across. Lakionov moves in against Kevin Klein. Fires it across. Good job by Mark Stahl checking Grayson Bowman. Bowman in the corner. Mark Stahl on him. Under 7 minutes remaining in the third. Rangers leading 4-1. Pass across. Open man is Kevin Klein. Plays it on goal. Ward with a save and he holds it. 6:44 remaining in the third. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement.
Jim, I think at one time you said the shots were 18-13.
Yes.
For Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Carolina since that time has had 5, and the Rangers have had 19. So they've really, as John reported to start this period about the coaches and talking about puck possession and getting it and keeping it and controlling the play, that's exactly the way it's been since about midway through the second.
Ryan Murphy sends it in. Rangers have not been called for a penalty in this game. Riley Nash had it poked away. Jesper Fast trying to play it out. It's chipped out by Richards. Richards, Hagelin, and Fast on for the Rangers. Rangers home against the Buffalo Sabres on Thursday night. Final regular season home game. Lindholm looking to make a play. He was forced by Diaz. Good job by Rafael Diaz. Rangers cleared out. Final game of the regular season for the Rangers Saturday night in Montreal. Both games will be on MSG. 7 p.m. start. Visa Rangers game night at 6:30 on both Thursday and Saturday nights. Belmore moving it back to Lyles. On him is Pouliot. And now Pouliot with a goal in the game. Richards with 2 and Stepan with 1. Nice job by Pouliot. Jordan Stahl moves in. Kevin Klein checks in.
Sam, you know who hasn't had the puck in this game? Eric Stahl.
Good point.
Hardly touched it the entire game. We haven't mentioned his name.
Lundqvist made a save as the puck deflected on goal. Zuccarello races in. He shoots high off the glass. That's a good point, Joe. And if Carolina is going to be a factor in the Eastern Conference, Eric Stahl has to be an elite player every night.
Right.
4:57 to go in the third. Rangers lead it 4-1. Game recap brought to you by Tri-Honda dealers. Brad Richards, 2 power play goals, 20 goals on the season. Marty St. Louis with 3 assists. First 3-point game as a New York Ranger. Derek Stepan a goal and an assist. 7 points in 4 games against Carolina this season. And point scoring streaks stretched. Matt Zuccarello goes to 5. Benoit Pouliot to 6. And if you joined us late, Matt Zuccarello, the winner of the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award. The player went above and beyond the call of duty.
He certainly deserved that, didn't he?
Without a doubt.
No arguments.
Long shot, stick save. Falk took the shot. Puck kept in by Hainsey. Cleared out. Nash chipping it ahead, blocked by Falk, sends it back in. 4:20 to go in the third period. Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Good rush by John Moore, sends it in. Rangers Ryan McDonough skated this morning at the morning skate, feeling a lot better. Still considered day-to-day, but on target to be ready for the playoffs.
They won't take any chances with him, for sure. And talking to Ulf Samuelsson, the assistant coach, before the game, how difficult it's been for him with Ryan McDonagh out of the lineup, trying to find right combinations and penalty kill and power play and you name it. He said, boy, oh boy, his head's spinning. It's all he does is think about different combinations on a shift-by-shift basis. And he misses Big Mac, that's for sure.
There's no doubt. A player who was used and is always used in every situation. Offside is whistled against the Carolina Hurricanes. You're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Alice in Chains with special guest Monster Truck appear at Foxwoods Resort Casino Saturday, May 10th. Visit foxwoods.com for tickets. I can't make it because that is my grandson's bar mitzvah day. We're going to have a big celebration.
Okay.
Brendan's bar mitzvah.
Good.
Maybe we'll invite Alice in Chains to come to the bar mitzvah.
Move the party.
Nathan Gerby knocked away by Mark Stahl. Richards with the rush was bumped by Belmore. Knocked around the board, stopped by Strawman. He's got room. That was a pass that was tipped. Wanted to get it through to Jesper Fast. Stahl plays it down low. Comes to Richards. Save. Hagelin shot stop. Richards around the net. Pass to Fast. That's deflected up out of play. 2:31 to go. Jesper Fast looking for his first NHL point.
Again, good puck movement. Richards coming so close. Boy, he's getting chances to get the hat-trick goal. There he is, right side of your screen there. Looks, waits a little bit. I think he wanted to try and set up Hagelin with the shot, and then eventually Fast will end up with a chance that gets deflected. So there's been some chemistry on that line. There's been some chemistry on the step-on line with Nash on the left side and St. Louis. And of course that Brassard line just keeps humming along.
Wow. And the fourth line did its usual thing. Columbus has taken a 3-2 lead on Phoenix.
Under 6 minutes to go in that one.
Blake Como getting the go-ahead goal. There's a pass in front. Pouliot shot it high off the glass. Another good chance for that line.
Brassard could have 7 or 8 assists in this game. Again, the way he set up players, he has just been something. He hasn't even thought about shooting the puck. He just keeps finding the open man and wonderful passes.
Long shot by Ryan Murphy that went high. Murphy gets back. Riley Nash for Carolina deflects in front. Diaz checking Elias Lindholm. St. Louis feeding more, and the Rangers come out. Brad Richards on the ice with Marty St. Louis. Saved by Ward. Rebound to Richards. He fires and was blocked. Went off the defenseman Ryan Murphy. They're trying to set up Brad Richards for the hat trick.
Good. That's the way it should be.
He's only had one other hat trick. He's only had one hat trick in his NHL career. That was last season with the Rangers.
And you know, Sam, the opposing coach, things like that, they don't mind that type of thing. And they're trying to get a player a hat trick goal.
Under a minute to go in the game. Jordan Stahl was checked by Diaz and a save by Lundqvist. And we've acknowledged all the players who've had real good games. Let's not forget early in the game, Henrik Lundqvist had to make some big saves because Carolina got some great chances early.
Sam, at 1-0, he made a save, a breakaway save on Semin. He made the save on Skinner, and he made the 2 on Harrison.
Right.
To keep it 1-0. That was the turning point in the game.
Fans are on their feet at the Garden with 15 seconds to go. Count down the final seconds of this one, and the Rangers have defeated the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1. That was a solid win from top to bottom. Carolina got the first goal, and after that, the Rangers got their act together, and everything fell into place.
Well, they were able to recover from that kind of start and the chances that they gave up to Henrik Lundqvist, against Henrik Lundqvist. And then after that, they found a way to take control of the game, and that's what they did. They controlled the game in every aspect. They had the puck. They controlled the physical game. They forced Cam Ward, who allowed 4 goals. He had to make some brilliant saves, in particular to start the third period. So this is a tremendous effort by the Rangers to win this game.
Rangers pick up their 44th win of the season. Henrik Lundqvist gets his 32nd, and a night when Matt Zuccarello honored with as the recipient of the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award, and he's a happy guy.
He is something.
He's loving life.
He is a piece of work. He is a guy you can't not love him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you can't not love him.
Terrific player who had made some great plays in this one and had an assist on the Benoit Pouliot goal. Our 3 stars of the game brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit on the web at searchmercedes.com.
3-star game presented by Geico.
Got some pretty good candidates, don't they? Here we go.
Rangers with 27 saves, number 30, Henrik Lundqvist.
That's good recognition of a player that kind of kept them, gave the Rangers a chance to take control of the game. While he was waiting for his teammates to get going, he was stopping some awfully difficult opportunities.
The Rangers with 3 assists, number 26, Martin St. Louis.
And played well. Now and again, he had the 3 assists in the game, and he probably had 3 or 4 really good chances to score himself. He would look to the heavens about half the game as he was looking up at the ceiling here at Madison Square Garden. Good game for Marty St. Louis.
And here comes the power play guy.
From the Rangers with 2 goals, number 19, Brad Richards.
Now, Sam, he plays about 1:45 out of every power play. So if you're looking for a player that really needed to help get this power play changed around, a lot of the power play goes through him. And he did tonight. Boy, he was decisive with the puck, shot the puck, scored a couple of the power play goals, and it looked like a different power play from what we've seen lately.
Good job for Brad Richards. With 2 goals, he reaches 20 goals for the season, 10th time in his career he's hit 20. We'll be right back.